Hey guys, sorry for the angle. It's a bad angle, but I'm just trying to keep the sunlight off. It's giving me a huge yellow glow until I put the phone camera right here. But hey, we do what we do. These are blogs. These are editorial blogs, and it's not an actual. This isn't KCal 9. I got a couple of things to go over really quick before I get to my Humpday editorial. The first thing they were talking on the news this morning. Some of you may have heard that they had an army unit go into Los Angeles and they were training, and some of the residents there got concerned and were like, what the hell's going on? And they were just training. So they're releasing statements to say they're going to do more training. On the news, they were saying through Long Beach today. And they were saying, though, the news anchor said, it's kind of weird. That's never happened before. I mean, wow, it's strange that they were out there training like that. You know what they were doing, right? Martial law, I think, is the term. They're training for that. They're getting ready. Something's going on in America, and they're getting ready for martial law. Just saying. Might look into that. The other thing, I didn't think to grab a link to put in the description box for this story. I do have a link to the editorial that I'm doing this morning out of Chicago in the description box. The other one I was going to mention was Alabama. If you look up man shot in Alabama mall by police or something to that effect, you will find the story. It's really long. I saw like 3 different stories on it. They were really long. But the police officer who shot the man with the gun in the mall, that was not the suspect, has been cleared of all charges, and it was said that it was a justified shooting because in the 5 seconds he interacted, he had to make a decision. So he shot a guy who was practicing or exercising his Second Amendment right to open carry. So your Second Amendment rights are in jeopardy now. If you carry a gun and the police are around, it's possible you could get shot. I thought you were a suspect. You had a gun. Sorry. Oh, he's dead. And then he's cleared of all charges. Now, I don't know that, I don't know, maybe not criminal charges, but there's some liability there. He shot a man who was exercising his Second Amendment rights and was not the suspect. Something's wrong there. Okay, and I'm not cop hating. I'm just saying, man, it's scary. So you can't even exercise your Second Amendment rights now without getting shot by the cops. Moving on. Let me just leave that one. Go to editorial, Chicago, Illinois. And I'm sorry I don't have pictures and stuff for this. It's just been a rough couple of weeks, man. It's been rough. So I'm gonna go ahead with it though. A Chicago police sergeant with a history of assault and sexual abuse resigns. The police sergeant resigned amid a criminal investigation into a brutal attack outside an Andersonville neighborhood nightclub last September that left 2 men hospitalized. Sergeant Eric Elkins, who would have reached his 20-year mark with the department later this year, officially stepped down last Thursday, according to Anthony Guglielmi, a spokesman for the Chicago Police Department. Pink Camera Magic, Chi-Town Sue, where you guys at? Get over there to get this for us. Elkins, who had been on a paid desk duty, earning a $104,000 base salary, was designated as having resigned under investigation, meaning he will not be eligible for retired police credentials. Boo-hoo. That was per Guglielmi. It's unclear whether he will qualify for a full pension, which typically takes effect once an officer has 20 years on the force. Elkins' checkered career with the department was featured in a front-page story in the Chicago Tribune in November that revealed Elkins was under criminal investigation for the September 29th beating outside a popular gay club in the 15300 block of North Clark Street called Atmosphere. The beating left both victims with serious injuries, a compound leg fracture for John Sherwood, and broken cheekbones and a perforated trachea for his longtime partner, Tom Stasha. At the time of the attack, Elkins was under internal investigation by the department for an incident in Michigan, where he allegedly sexually abused a teen at a family party in 2015, records show. Elkins pleaded guilty in August 2016 to a misdemeanor battery count in exchange for probation and a small fine. And yet he was still a cop. He was allowed to continue as a police officer after pleading guilty to misdemeanor battery with a probation and a small fine. He was put on desk duty. Then he beat the crap out of these two guys, or maybe he was on desk duty after beating them up. Regardless, what's going on with the Chicago Police Department? Here you have a guy that was being investigated for allegedly sexually abusing someone, and then he pleaded out probation and a small fine. He still gets to be a cop. He beats the shit out of two guys. He's under investigation for that. He's on desk duty after all of this, making $104,000 a year. Still making money, raking in the money, 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 money. Yeah, gets paid for beating people up and all of that. Misdemeanor battery. Injuring these two guys. And they're like, well, we're going to let him retire and collect his pension. Come on, the guy's done 19 years. Next year he retires. You know that if that was a non-law enforcement job, that guy would have been fired a long time. He would have been fired after probation and small fine. But what's going on in law enforcement that these guys are allowed to commit crime after crime and still hold a badge? I mean, what if there was a shooting in Chicago and they said, pull off all the desk duty people too? And then all of a sudden they were like, you know what, Elkins, you're just going to have to come out in the field with us. We have an emergency going on downtown Chicago. What happens then? What, are you going to go out and beat the hell out of protesters or something because, well, hey, they let me back in the field? Sorry if I sound a little bit jaded, but this is ridiculous that this guy was allowed to stay on desk duty collecting $104,000 after committing these crimes. I mean, well, there was a crime committed. He pled out. Probation and a fine. Let me know what you guys think. News Now Ukaipa. Letting you know what's going on across your nation with law enforcement and public officials.